So I'm going to eat clean, run 4 miles a day, and read philosophy, all from Monday. Do you find it hard to stick to healthy habits so you know what you've got to do, but it just doesn't happen? Like the New Year's resolution that fades out by mid-January. Here's the thing, it doesn't make you a moral failure. It's called being human, and it's how our brains are wired. In this video, I'll run through the top 3 mistakes that get in the way of healthy, lasting habits and what you can do to avoid them. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Ruth, retired doctor turned health coach, and I make evidence-based content for women over 50 who want to age healthily. And if you're returning, thank you. I'm incredibly grateful for your support. Mistake number 1, all or nothing thinking. A lot of women approach health changes with a bit of a perfectionist mindset. So they think if they can't follow the plan 100% of the time, then there's just no point. And this starts a bit of a vicious cycle. So starting an aggressive diet or exercise plan, making a small slip up, then feeling discouraged and abandoning it completely. Let's use dieting as an example. You may know the story. You've been really good all week. It's Friday evening. You want the dessert. You think, well, I probably should eat the apple, but I really want the dessert. So you eat the dessert and then feel really guilty. And then over the weekend say, well, I ate the dessert, the diet's, that's the diet done now. I may as well eat the fries, the pizza, the ice cream and start again on Monday. And then it cycles. The human brain is wired with a negativity bias. It's how we learn to detect and run from danger. And this negativity makes us focus on failure. So it's also stressful. And when you consider that the menopause is stressful in itself, if you're then adding extra pressure through perfectionism, it really doesn't help. So here's what to do instead. First, if you want the dessert, eat the dessert and don't feel guilty about the dessert. It's not going to ruin your health goals. It's not even going to ruin your week. Secondly, don't view slip-ups as failures. View them as a chance to learn and gather data. For example, let's say you ate the pizza, the fries, the ice cream, and now you feel overly full and a little bit sick. Well, that's really good data gathering. How does your body feel? How did it affect your mood, your sleep? There's a couple of reasons there why you might not want to do it next time. And that feedback helps you tune into your hunger and fullness cues, which chronic dieting can disrupt. So the key takeaways: consistency beats perfection every single time, and mistakes aren't failures, they're learning opportunities. And a quick side note, if you're finding this useful, please consider hitting like, subscribe, or sharing with a friend so you can help this tiny channel reach more women. There's no pressure, but it will be greatly appreciated. Mistake number 2, relying on willpower alone. When people struggle to stick to a habit, that critical inner voice can pipe up saying, you've got no willpower. But willpower isn't endless. It's like a battery. It drains and it needs recharging. So if you rely on it alone, you can often end up battling yourself, particularly where emotions are involved. For example, wanting the ice cream after a bad day at work. Instead, focus on designing your environment to make the healthier habits more likely to stick, even when your willpower battery is running low. Remember, habits form through a loop. So a cue, so a specific context or environment, that triggers an action, and that action is more likely to happen if you get a reward. So here's a little trick I use to make my morning exercise on my exercise bike more automatic. I lay out my cycling kit the night before, so it's a really strong cue and I don't have to think too hard about it in the morning. And secondly, I try and pair what's an already enjoyable experience, because I get that endorphin hit, through something that makes it even more rewarding, such as listening to a podcast or audiobook. So this is where we can use age to our advantage. There's evidence that older people are better at forming these automatic habits than the youngsters. So the key takeaways are: change your environment to make the cues obvious and make the action more rewarding. Mistake number 3, setting goals that are too big or too rigid. So this can show up as the big life overhaul. So I'm going to eat clean, run 4 miles a day and read philosophy, all from Monday. No, don't do it. It is a recipe for overwhelm. So behaviour change requires effort from the brain, so-called cognitive effort. So it's taxing. And habits help lighten this load because they're automatic and you don't really have to think about them, like when you put on your seatbelt when you get into your car. And if you try to change too many things at once, you're basically just overwhelming your brain's bandwidth and you're more likely to give up. So instead, start small. Start really small if you need to. There's very little that can't be broken down further. So if walking every day feels like too much, try walking for 3 days a week, or 2, or even 1 day. It's better to succeed at a little goal and get that buzz from the little win than fail at a bigger one. Also, make sure you build in some flexibility because life happens. So meetings get scheduled, someone from the family calls and they want something, or it rains, and this is all entirely normal. So a client of mine wanted to walk daily at lunchtime, but something would get in the way, such as a meeting, and then she'd give up for the rest of the week. So we did a bit of a reframe and said, well, let's walk for 5 days out of 7. And she did a little bit of light planning, so checking her diary and scheduling the walk on the more sort of lighter days, and this flexibility made her more consistent. And as we get older, we naturally get a reduction in what's called cognitive flexibility, so the ability to switch between different tasks. So that planning becomes even more important. So the key takeaways are start small and build gradually, and build some flexibility into your plans. So in conclusion, sustainable habits are built through an incremental and forgiving process with one tiny win at a time. So if you miss a workout or you eat differently on holiday, don't worry. It's a moment in time. It's not a failure. So learn, reflect, move forward. It is consistency and not perfection that drives success. So here's a quick recap of the 6 habit building tips we've covered. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Mistakes aren't failures, they're learning opportunities. Change your environment to make cues obvious. Make the action more rewarding. Start small and build gradually, and build flexibility into your plans. And if you'd like a real-world example of how I've changed some of my habits after 50, I'll leave it here and hopefully I'll see you there.